Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan. And if you love Bethesda games and you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, just hit that button in the bottom right corner. If you don't, Pete Hines will haunt your daydreams. Let's talk Fallout 76 and a few more things we have learned from Todd Howard's interviews overseas. He dropped a major bomb that nobody has hardly noticed, nor did anyone think to ask a follow-up question. But we did find out that you can detain or jail other players inside your camp. The hows and whys were not explained, but this is huge. He said this in connection to explaining that your camp can be damaged. So apparently, and mind you, my mind is running wild, this must be part of the anti-grieving system, the bounty system that Todd Howard was explaining in the earlier interview. If you kill someone in Fallout 76 in an unlawful way, which I'm sure will be explained to us, then the player which does so will be given a bounty that will show up on the map to everyone. Now, we all assume that people could just kill the person with the bounty, but no. Apparently, you can catch them and detain them in your camp, or jail them, if you will. Now, how this fully works and to what end, we do not know yet, but I do have some ideas. In one of the trailer clips, you can see a player shoot another player, and he drops to his knees. Now, in the clip, he goes ahead and shoots him again, but I am betting at the point he was on his knees, the player probably has the choice to capture the wanted player. Now again, to what end, I'm not sure. Maybe Vault 76 will send a robot to collect the player and pay you the bounty money, and the player that is detained will have to spend some time in jail back in Vault 76. Now that part is my idea, guys, so you tell me what you think. I just think it's a very cool idea to be able to jail other people with a bounty. Now, back to what we do know for sure. Your camp can be damaged by other players, which is one reason you build defenses, obviously. The other reason is for the native creatures of the land that you see in the trailers. But again, Todd said this in connection to detaining or jailing other players. So apparently there is a possibility they could damage your camp to the point of escape. So you will probably have to stay and stand guard. And also remember, they have told us several times that repairing our camps will cost very little resources and can be done by only clicking one button. Now, we did get into a very interesting conversation this weekend in our podcast about our camp's defenses and how and when they will react to enemy players. We mostly came to the consensus that the defenses will probably fire once fired upon, because I truly cannot think of another way to do it with other players. Now, with creatures of the game, they will fire automatically. But this is just another thing in a long list of things we will learn once the beta launches. Now, another update that I am excited to bring you is on the trading system. As most of you know, I did a video on the trading system, but Todd gave us a little more info. I told you about the vending machine, and I still haven't seen or heard many people explain these. You will be able to load and leave these vending machines at your camp so that other players can purchase your merchandise out of the vending machines while you're gone. Now, Todd Howard also confirmed that we would have robot vendors, as we thought, to help us sell our merchandise. And we will be able to sell it ourselves personally. That was the first time that has been confirmed. He also said you will be able to sell anything except for quest items. So that is awesome news for all of us, really. For those that are interested in being vendors, or even it helps players who are simply needing to trade from time to time. I want to talk about these two things that we've learned just a little bit more. These are two excellent ways of making just a little bit more caps in the game. And remember, this is going to be a very skill-specific type game. In other words, you're going to have to think about how you want to set up your character, because another thing about this game, and I'm going to have to do a video specifically on this, unlike Fallout 4 where you could have as many perks as you want to, in this game you are limited to the amount of perk cards you can have. I believe it's 48. There's only a certain amount of perks that you can have, and you're going to have to keep trading out if you want to do something different, but you're going to have to think about what your character wants to be. In other words, if you're going to be a trader, if you're going to be a builder or whatever. So these two things are going to be an excellent way of making caps. You can be a bounty hunter, going and detaining these people that have a bounty and holding them until, like if my idea is right, until the robot from Vault 76 comes and picks them up. Or again, you can be that trader with the robot, with the vending machines, and personally there. This is so exciting to think about these little nuggets that we found out, and I know we're going to find out even more once the beta launches. So exciting. Now, the last specific thing I want to mention about Fallout 76 today, Todd Howard's interview, was what he said about the improvements they made from Fallout 4. He said they wanted every aspect to be better, from graphics to how controls work, to gunplay, to enemy AI, to overlapping quests. He said in Fallout 4 they tried so many new things and redid so many things that they had before. We took our lessons in how you strike that balance going into 76, he said. We improved the hit detection for 76. It feels much better. There are so many things we redid for 76, but I don't know if people will notice unless you go back and compare. He also went on to say that id Software, who had helped them get the gunplay better for Fallout 4, had helped them again on Fallout 76, but he did not say what area they helped them on. The gunplay was worlds better if you compare Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, so if they made even close to that kind of leap in Fallout 76, it will be amazing. I'm just happy they are continuing to improve, not happy to stay the same. I was very happy with Fallout 4's gunplay. I don't know about you, but it is super exciting to me to think that Fallout 76 will even be better along with all the other areas he mentioned. And the next question that Todd was asked was about the RPG elements from Fallout 4 and the amount of choice, or the lack of choice, that was had in Fallout 4, and if they made that a priority in Fallout 76. And Todd gave the simple answer of yes, and gave some added reassurance by saying that the story of Fallout 76 will continue to grow and change since it is an online game. And we will be actively working with the game and with our fans. So at the very least, you can see that Bethesda Game Studios is very committed to bringing to us the very best experience in Fallout 76 they can bring. And that will not be limited by what is presented at launch. It will continue to grow and get better with the fans' feedback. Lastly, if you happen to have missed the podcast Saturday, Todd surprised a lot of people when he said that they are keeping their game editor even into the making of Starfield. So does this mean there's no new engine? Well, since I always like to leave you guys with good news, I will give you Todd's words. One thing is not an engine, he said. They have added a lot of new technology for Fallout 76, like a new renderer, a new lighting model, new landscaping maker. Then with Starfield, even more new technology, including a new animation system, and even more that he wouldn't say specifically. So why hold on to that old editor? Here is the good news. Todd mentioned the modders first. He said so the modders don't have to learn a whole new system, and because his people are also comfortable and fast with this editor as well. So Todd said it is a new engine for Starfield. Well, yes and no. Everything is new except the editor. In fact, they have some brand new things the old engine never had. So there's your good news. Well, no, that's not good enough news. Especially to leave you guys with, since This week I'm going to be going to church camp. I've been asked to be the guest speaker, so obviously I won't have as many videos for you this week. So let me try again with some better news. Todd Howard doubled down on the fact that Bethesda Game Studios is primarily a single-player RPG studio and always will be. In an interview with Games Industry Biz at Game Lab in Barcelona, where he was there to receive the award that we've talked about, he said Fallout 76 does not mark our future. Corporately, we have done a mix. People forget sometimes. Elder Scrolls Online is one of the biggest online games in the world. We also have Fallout Shelter, which we keep updating. Anyone who has ever said this is the future and this part of gaming is dead, he was referring to single-player games, has been proven wrong every single time. We like to try it all. For a long time, we wanted to try a multiplayer game, and we had this idea. We shouldn't be afraid. We should try it. So for anyone afraid that Bethesda Game Studios is going to turn into an online studio and abandon the single-player games that we all love, should take a lot of comfort in Todd's words. Fallout 76 is not a new direction for Bethesda Game Studios. It was simply something they wanted to try. And it's not a new idea, by the way. Did you know that Black Isle Studio and Interplay wanted to make a Fallout Online game after Fallout 2? And Bethesda had to sue to make sure they didn't do that after they sold the property to Bethesda? So for anyone who thinks Bethesda is ruining Fallout by making Fallout 76, the people who made Fallout wanted to do this long ago. And it would have already happened had it not been for Bethesda. So take heart. Fallout is still Fallout, and Bethesda is still Bethesda. They still love the single-player RPG games, and that's what they are committed to doing in the future. And I can only speak for myself, but to be able to play Fallout with you guys, my friends, is really a dream come true. So I'm glad they had this dream, and I'm so glad they did try it. Okay, there's your good news. I want to thank you for getting your Bethesda news right here at the King's Corner. I appreciate that more than you know. And if you would like to consider supporting this channel, I sure would appreciate that. The link to my Patreon page is down in the description below of every one of my videos. Please consider. Any amount would be so appreciated. And by the way, y'all miss me while I'm gone. I am the KingFanMan. And I'll see y'all soon.